I'm Carla Reeves, and this is Differently. Whether you feel stuck in survival, navigating a change, or seeking more for your life, may this podcast be your weekly nudge to take a risk to build a life that is uniquely bold, authentic, and in alignment with your deepest values. After a decade of coaching individuals from corporate leaders to creative artists to multi-million-dollar CEOs, I'm convinced we are far closer than we realize to what we deeply desire, and it's a willingness to do differently that can change everything. Hey guys, I'm excited to be with you today. I'm laughing inside because doing this podcast really brings me so much joy, and I love to create these for you. And sometimes they go awry. And it would be pretty funny if we put together a bunch of bloopers. Quentin and I, my husband, just tried to record one together and we just had failure after failure after failure. So I want to record this one for you because it's going to be a little bit different. But on a recent coaching call, something really struck me and I knew I wanted to share it with you. And this isn't the first time that it's happened, and that's why it felt so important. Often with my private coaching clients, because they are high achievers and often hyper achievers, and you can go back and listen to Are You a Hyperachiever episode if you're wondering what that is. But the busyness in achieving the next thing for high achievers and hyperachievers becomes a way of living. And it's gotten us a great deal of success until we reach a point where we want something more, we want something different, and those old ways of doing things are not getting us there. This often becomes a time to redefine success, which I also just did a recent episode on, and I'll put a link in the show notes for you. I have an exercise that I sometimes take clients through, and the exercise is: tell me the last 3 to 5 standout moments from your daily life over the last 2 to 4 days. I want you to really think about that for yourself. It never fails in this exercise that the work things, the productivity things never end up on this list. It's always things like the magnolia garden that we walked through and that white bench that we sat together on. It's things like breathing in the beauty while we were hiking, or my baby girl giving me kisses, reading the card that he gave to me, or laughing with my daughter and her boyfriend over pizza, sitting on the deck, having coffee early in the morning. And the last time that I did this with a client, she listed her things and she was in tears and quite shocked. And she said to me, there's a common thread between all of these. It's not a shiny object. It's not about achieving something. It's not about a money-related thing. And I see this time and again. The things that our mind and the world around us tell us are, things that we want are not the things that actually deeply fill our buckets. And this is where differently comes in. And here's what you can do differently. Start taking new inventories, just pausing to reflect and ask yourself that question at the end of the day. Like, what are the moments that stood out today? Or what are the moments that stood out this week? Will be super insightful. Make sure that your checklists include things that truly fill your bucket. So as you're going through and planning your week and making your lists, make sure to start to put some of those actions that lead to experiences like that, where you're out in nature or having some quality time with someone. Then you can start to, once you are aware of it, you can start to intentionally put those things on your list. So in close, this is a practice. And over time is about making more and more of these fill the bucket moments. And soon you'll have a life that feels more balanced, alive, and fulfilling. And if you want some help redefining success and building a life you don't have to escape, That's my jam. Go to carlareeves.com and book a call with me. I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful day. I will see you next week. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode of Differently. I hope it stirred your thinking, and I invite you to take one inspired action from something that stood out to you. If you want to hear more conversations like this, be sure to hit follow on your favorite podcast app. And if this episode could impact someone you know, please help us spread the word and pass it along. Remember, new episodes drop weekly. See you next week.